All right, guys, welcome back. I'm gonna start this thing up as loud as possible. Just fill it up with gas. Mix in 6.5 gallons of ethanol with, I think it was 4.5 gallons, 4.8 gallons of 93 octane. So staying between like E40 and E50 right now. Car is pushing over 730, maybe even 750 wheel. Ridiculous. It's raining today. It's raining a lot, guys. This might turn into just more of a chill kind of ASMR style drive because I've already seen a bad crash, and yeah, not trying to get anything crazy right now. We are in rear-wheel drive, so you guys will get a sense of how it is on a slightly slick surface. The sun is coming out, heating up the rain that already fell, so there'll be steam, and it's kind of a beautiful day, to be honest. The morning was super bright, super bright, super harsh actually. Still feels pretty good. I'm on the Pirelli, I think they're called the Pirelli P0s, they're OEM tire for the car. They're not as good as the Michelins in the rain, I'll say that, but when things are completely dry and super hot, they are better than the Michelins. So guys, in iDrive 8.5, they changed the climate controls a little bit. So usually I have it on auto, but let's say, you know, you get a lot of condensation, windshield steams up, you can actually get it off auto and hit this, which will then start, you know, running the dehumidifier basically. And after getting to the gas station, my windshield was completely fogged up, so a few minutes I just kind of chilled, put that on, and it even feels good on a cold day. The car's heating and cooling system really works super well. It would be cool to have, you know, these carbon bucket seats are heated but they're not cooled, and that would be pretty awesome, but I'm not sure what would go into that. They could, you know, cool the ball cup holder. Put it back on auto, guys. Yeah, actually cleared up. Not bad, huh? So checked out a few new places last night. Yepa on the Beltline, which was a lot of fun. Pretty like pop-in bar, to be honest. And then Marcel Steakhouse, which was pretty good. So if you guys are into food also, you know, cars, food, they go together, and you can get people to come together around cars and food. I do have to be careful because I did see a unmarked car go down this way before I took the exit for the gas station. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just Sunday afternoons, but people are basically asleep when they're driving, especially if it's super hot out. Everything just slows down. Every day we've had these massive rolling thunderstorms that cause like flash flooding, and then it all dries up within like 2 hours. And each day we've had multiple. So in the morning you could have a storm shower, afternoon storm shower, evening storm shower. You never know when you can go clean your car. I was gonna go to the car wash, guys, and then it started pouring. I I even went to Costco after. I thought I could get something, and it closes at 6, so I was like, all right. But nothing's really a drag when you get to drive this car, you know what I mean? And I think that in life, the feeling something can give you is great, but what you have to always remember is that feeling, if you can produce that feeling in yourself without that object, that's the real win, you know what I mean? So when the car was gone for 6 months, I still had to keep going, even though this was a real source of joy, you know, and freedom. But I doubled down on, you know, getting further into investments, opening the Discord up further, joining WAP, creating a training program, and you know, seeing those things grow, you know, that gives me a lot of joy too. And then it goes back into being able to modify the car, maintain the car, you know, when I got it back. And I think for me, being able to enjoy cars in a way that I get to connect with people, go out, have some great food, enjoy amazing drives, and even then build from that with people I meet, like getting business partners together. The network that I have, I think about it all the time, you know? Who can I connect that I think will see eye to eye and may be able to, even if they don't see eye to eye, who will be able to collaborate on awesome, innovative ideas? And, you know, I've got friends working on apps, websites, agencies. In the supercar world, you'll realize how many people are non-traditional in the sense they don't work a 9 to 5. It's a lot of business owners, a lot of new wealth, and I think in the United States right now we have a 2 to 3 year period where you need to start building a lot, because the inequality we're going to face in a transition period with AI and robotics, where the government is regressive instead of progressive with policies to protect essentially the majority of middle-income Americans and less low-income Americans. If you don't start finding your own sources of income, creating them, trading, businesses, content creation, then it's going to be very difficult to find a paycheck from a salaried position. Especially service jobs will get replaced. You know, college students right now who are graduating into one of the worst job markets in 10 years. And there are some, you know, warning signals right now for the economy, guys. So if you look at, I believe it's new home sales, I think they've dropped quite significantly, and there might be a massive volume or inventory of homes that are sitting on the market right now, higher than it's been even before the 08 recession, the big 08, 09, you know, crash. So that's one thing. Also, businesses are posting larger profits than ever after the inflation is, as you know, the head of the Federal Reserve said, transitory inflation has passed and is now kind of slowing down a lot. Businesses have still kept their prices up. And, you know, I think that the people who will be able to afford the AI and robotics services that'll make their lives better and put them in a better position are going to be the ones with the people that already have money. You know what I mean? There's going to be like a class of what I call technologists who really serve the owners of the capital, but the technologists get paid large amounts of money, right? And you can think about tech workers like that. So tech workers also, in the past, I think 18 months, I think close to 200,000, if not more, in America, you know, white-collar tech workers were laid off. And they've joined, you know, smaller companies, which is cool. You get talent moving around. They've joined government, you know, agencies, state, local, federal. It's good that the talent's moving around, but the companies that slash them have gone on to post even higher, you know, profits. The companies that laid those people off, you know, Google, Microsoft, Apple hasn't had as big of layoffs as the other companies, but I think if their AI rollout continues to be a shame, they're going to, you know, going to be cutting people. Apple's a little bit behind right now, I would say, in the AI race because they don't have their house in order, and they're doubling down on a visual change, right? A user interface change for iOS and the other OSs. I think that when they dropped the ball on Siri, and then Apple Intelligence also had what would be considered a glitchy, bug-filled, release, it just shows that internally, I think their engineering teams are not speaking to each other properly, and they don't know what they're doing with a long-term view, and they may not even actually believe in the technology of LLMs being, at the level of quality that they want into a finished product. Google, for me right now, is the best company that you can invest in the AI space because they have their own hardware, which are called Google TPUs, which I believe OpenAI just signed a deal to use, in addition to the NVIDIA hardware that OpenAI already has. So Google's TPUs will be used in more and more other places outside of Google. And NVIDIA will continue to grow as well. There's nothing stopping them. And honestly, Google, NVIDIA, Robinhood, who their ticker is Hood, I would continue to invest in Palantir. In fact, today is Sunday. Today is Sunday, and on Friday at close, Palantir just dropped very, very hard. And what's happening right now in the market is, the tariff deals, the trade discussions are still going on. Trump, at a moment's notice, even during the day, can announce something. I believe around like 1 p.m. on Friday, he dropped the bomb about just kind of dropping the hammer on Canada, and the market's just tanked. And people who were up big on SPY, for example, it dropped like $6. SPY is a ETF, by the way, and people trade options on it. And when SPY dropped $6, people who were in calls, who were betting that, it's going to go up, would have lost all of their money, especially if they had held it all day. And then, of course, towards the end of the day, SPY rocketed back up. It was like a roller coaster. But Palantir did not. It actually dropped. And what we're seeing with Palantir is they've just signed a AI deal to have an AI platform for nuclear energy production, and that's incredibly a good thing for a long-sighted view, because nuclear production of energy is going to be a national defense concern for the United States, because it's going to be required to fuel all of the power needs that AI is going to be utilizing. Can you imagine we have an energy grid, right? We're most likely going to have a distributed AI grid as well, because the AI will now be a layer on top of the existing infrastructure grid that's trying to optimize it. But at the same time, before we get to a perfectly optimized place, we're going to have to run, massive amounts of power, massive amounts of hardware to run the AI at the level that we're running it today. I think we'll get to a point where the AI helps us, more efficiently utilize power. There could be massive breakthroughs in the way that nuclear energy is produced, and I think we're on the cusp. We're on the cusp in the next 2-3 years. It's going to be an incredibly exciting time, guys, but it's also going to be incredibly unequal time. Jeff Bezos just got married, and you look at the transition that he's had from being a quiet billionaire in Seattle, driving like a Japanese econobox, like a Honda or a Toyota to work, even when he's worth billions, to now being literally like a playboy billionaire. You know what I mean? One of the biggest yachts, if not the biggest in the world. Has a socialite wife who's, I would say very plastic, because she's just fully made up, right? And that's what he likes, I guess. That's what he's chosen. He's chosen the socialite billionaire class life, you know what I mean, instead of being himself. But who knows, you know what I mean? Money does change people, but some people say money just amplifies who you are. Something has happened to Jeff Bezos, and I think if you look at the billionaire class, who are really the oligarchs in the United States, they are ramping up the extraction of value from the economy to create more inequality while pushing these regressive policies, being, basically buddy-buddy with the Trump administration, giving them, basically bribes. It's kind of out in the open now how everything works, and I think simultaneously what that's doing is people have lost trust in institutions and are just honestly on a path of just trying to make as much money as possible without thinking about the stability needed for a middle class with strong families across the country. You know what I'm saying? And without new college grads getting jobs, without service jobs existing in a few years, without the ability for you to save up some money and work and being able to pay for your bills without, you know, needing a ton of experience, or, you know, there's going to be so little opportunity for people to start their careers that we're going to face, I think, a situation in 10 to 15 years where a universal basic income will be implemented, but the period of time between now and then is going to be incredibly unequal. However, there are so many opportunities with AI, robotics, trading, starting your own business, content creation, that you should be more excited about that than worrying about the inequality, because you should be utilizing the opportunities that are starting to come up. And if you follow the channel, that's really what I'm about. I try to tell people to break free in a different way. You know, you don't have to be programmed. Yes, we've lost trust in these institutions. Yes, the corruption is out in front, but use it to your advantage. And then if you do make money, start changing people's lives around you, you know? Open up people's minds to what's out there, what they can do with technology, and you will then create a social network for yourself that you've helped people get to another level, you know, and that's what I'm trying to do. And I gotta say, it works, and I love seeing people do well. I really love seeing people finally, you know, break through from what they thought life could be to, oh, you know, I really can create a lead generation business. I can really create a website with AI. You know, I can use existing tools or very cheap software that I can pay monthly for to automate a lot of stuff and help with the process. You know what I mean? I'm not sure why he... Oh, what a car, right, guys? It's all two-wheel drive. Finding a comfortable driving position when you're driving, guys, where you're attentive, both hands on the wheel. You can rest your left foot against the back plate if there is one. And if you just breathe and you start processing things, you'll start seeing things differently, you know what I mean? In video games, there's 30 frames per second and 60 frames per second. When you control your breathing, when you're comfortable, you'll start seeing things in 60 frames per second. And that's the metaphor I'm trying to use, you know, instead of 30 frames per second, where other people might seem like the reactions, what they're doing is a little bit slower. The hard part with that is then balancing patience with trying to maneuver. Oh my God. What's up, man?
That's a nice car, man.
I saw you flash your lights, so I was like, alright, I gotta do something.
It's just a motor, just testing the car.
Nice.
I like it, man.
Appreciate it, man. Those are cool cars too. Hybrid?
I have no idea.
Oh, okay, okay.
My car is out of service.
It's not a bad service car, at least they gave you one.
Exactly, but it's not like mine. I have CLE 450.
Okay.
But it's not like yours.
It has the big screen?
What is it?
It has the wide screen?
That has a small screen I ever seen.
That's a pretty nice one though.
Kinda, but the quality is really bad. The LA quality is really, really bad. Let me show you something if I have time. I had a BMW M4
Oh yeah?
but it just totaled.
Oh.
There you go.
Oh, I'm sorry, bro. Oh, he's pushing that thing. Off, guys.